That game, that game back in Chicago, my rookie year, feels like yesterday. It's exciting to go back. Obviously, to Soldier Field, one of the best cities in America, to go back, and they love football, and it's a great environment. It doesn't get much better than Chicago and Soldier Field, and they have a really good football team right now. They look really good on film, and it's gonna be a great game. We're enthusiastic about going there and having a tough battle and seeing what happens. So I remember just going there and playing guys like Urlacher and Tillman and those type of players. That's really when you realize, man, I'm in the National Football League and this is real. And so to be able to find a way to win in overtime, I remember Sidney Rice making an unbelievable play. It was just a fantastic game, back and forth. I remember Brandon having a great game that game. Actually, it was fun to watch him play. But I just those are great memories, and so hopefully we can make another one this week.
You guys hadn't had a lot of road success to that point. What did that do for you guys just to get that win on the road, and then that kind of kicked off a really strong finish to the season?
Well, I think it gave us clarity on who we can be. I think that was the first thing. I think the second thing was it taught us that how to really go on the road and really be prepared at the highest level, and all the details that it takes to be prepared, and just the whole team collectively playing together. And that was a really good football team. I mean, I think they were ranked really, their record was really good at the time, I believe, and it was a tough environment, like I said. And so to be able to go into one of the best environments in the National Football League and come out with a win in overtime. And go back and forth. I remember the ball was on the maybe 1 or 2 yard line. We had 98 yards to go or whatever, with like some 2 minutes to go or whatever it was, and just being resilient, in our thought process and how we need to get things done. And our backs were against the wall a little bit in terms of where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do. And people weren't expecting much, I don't think, at the time, And I think that we showed that we could play with some of the best players in the National Football League and make some things happen. And so that's what showed up, and hopefully we can do that come this week.
Has that game come up with you and Brandon at all?
Yeah, me and Brandon have joked about it. He gave me nightmares because I remember we scored there at the very, very end. I remember we scored at the very, very end there, so my cell phone's on. Just gotta call him out just for fun. I remember we scored there at the very, very end. I don't know how much time was, maybe 30 seconds left or whatever. I'm like, okay, we got this dub, great game, And sure enough, Brandon makes two or three crazy catches, and just gets them in field goal range. They make the field goal, and then I was just hoping we won the field goal, the toss, and then sure enough, we got the ball and went up and down the field and scored a touchdown. And Sidney scored that touchdown, and he just so smooth and made a nice catch and got in the end zone. It was an ugly hit, though. I know that. I remember that. But it was just a great game all around.
How much of a challenge is it to go up against another elite pass rusher? Consecutive weeks, you guys had Vaughn, and now you have Khalil Mack. How much of a challenge does that pose for you and the offensive line?
Well, I think it's, that's what we expect. We expect to play great players every week. We have a very tough schedule. We get to play some of the best teams, and we're looking forward to it. And we never back down from a challenge. I think that obviously Khalil, we didn't expect him to be on our schedule early on like this, but he's a tremendous player. I have a lot of respect for him and how he plays the game, and he's as tough as it gets. Watching the film, we didn't get to see it on the way back, but watching the film, from their Green Bay game and how he was really causing a storm. Was pretty impressive. You don't get to see that many defensive ends making the kind of plays that he's making and the things that he's doing. So, like I said, I got a lot of respect for him and how he plays the game. Gotten to know him over the past few years and stuff like that. So, he's fun to watch, and hopefully he won't do too much in this game.
Do you feel the pass protection being better, different than in years past? Pete said it's been better.
Yeah, I think we're getting better for sure. I think that throughout the whole preseason we did a good job, and last week, like I said, I take some of the blame for those few sacks there. Just trying to extend the play, third downs and stuff like that. But I definitely think Coach Solari's coaching the guys up really well, and we had a chance. I mean, we had the 3 touchdown passes. We should have had a 4th one there. And then we could have had a 5th one, So I just think about where we're headed, and I am. I always believe in where we're headed and what we're going to do. So I'm really looking forward to it. The guys are working extremely hard. It's a pleasure to be able to come in this building every day and just get to work with the guys we get to work with. You know, guys from Justin Britt to guys like Dwayne Brown to guys like Posick and Sweezy and Fetty, and they're working extremely hard. A guy like George Fant, you know, and you know, just so many different players. I love watching guys like Roos, you know, on the one-on-ones and pass protection, just how hard they're working. It's, you know, and I'll go to battle with any of those guys every day.
Brought up third down a couple times is one of the problems last week. Just what do you guys need to do to kind of get that cleaned up?
Yeah, I think we've got to be great on third down. That's like any game, that's any situation. That's always going to be the case all year and for the rest of football history. You got to be great in third down. I think for us, we just got to convert, you know, and continue to move the chains a little bit and stay on the field. I mean, I think we were on the field for only 24 minutes or something like that, you know, and one, that's a credit for us scoring fast, but two, it shows that if we can be out in the field a little bit longer, how much more can we score? You know, I think that's what we look forward to, is staying on the field. We want our great players like Tyler Lockett and Chris Carson and Brandon and those guys. You saw Disley last week. You guys know Nick Vanette and those, you know, kind of plays that those guys can make. We want them on the field, and so the more they can be on the field, the better.
Hey, Russell, can or how does the hurry-up offense help the run game?
Well, I think anytime you're in hurry-up offense, I think it helps in the sense that the defense gets a little bit more tired. You know, they get worn down. They don't know what you're going to do. They don't know if it's run or pass. That's always the situation. But I think more so than anything, you kind of dictate, you know, the plays and everything else. It's kind of like basketball. I always relate to basketball, right? You know, you get the rebound. Some teams bring it up slow, and some teams, you know, kick it up and move the ball up and down the court pretty fast. And I believe, you know, that the Warrior style of offense is always good. You know, those guys can really shoot and make plays. But there is the only negative is that, you know, you're up and running up and down the field all day. You know, and so in this physical type of game, it's a little bit different. But I think that we're definitely well conditioned mentally and physically for that. And sometimes the game dictates itself. You know, I think that. You know, last game, you know, we had a lot of penalties, you know, put us, like I said, you know, 1st and 20 and everything else. And so if we can just stay on schedule, we can do all the things that we want to do and how to do it and the things that, you know, make us, I believe, an elite offense.
Also, Brandon Marshall was up here yesterday saying what an extraordinary leader you are and how he was taken by that. Yet you have another national story that says there's an anti-Russell Wilson faction that broke up the champion Seahawks. Your reaction to that and Pete Carroll saying you're human, and of course you hear and see these things.
Well, I think for me, I've always been focused on helping this football team win in whatever form or fashion. From the moment I got here, I remember May 11th of 2012. That's been my focus, and that's my sole focus, is to do everything I can to make this football team a winning championship caliber football team every year, and ultimately, you know, try to do everything I can to you know, lay it on the line every play. The one thing I can always say about my play so far in my career, you know, I've laid it on the line every play, and so that's the only thing that I can do, and just try to continue to lead a group of men in the sense that, hey, we're gonna try to be the best in the world every time we step on the field, and how we prepare and how we practice. All the other stuff, you know, like I've always said, I just ignore the noise. You know, I focus on the things that I know and things that the things that I know helps prepare, you know, this football team to try to win as many games as possible. Everything else, I don't really worry about too much.
When Disley has a game like that, what does that do for your confidence in him going forward?
Oh, I think Disley's been exciting all year. I mentioned him on training camp. He's been exciting. Just to watch how athletic he is and how determined, how physical he is. And you saw him catch that mid-cross, you know, the other day, him breaking tackles, running up and down the field against a very, very good defense and making plays. You know, he's a special talent, and it's good that he's on our football team. And being a rookie, you would never know. I mean, he has you know, he has a Pro Bowl type of mentality in terms of how he prepares. You know, he really, when I say that, I mean that. He's got a tremendous aptitude for the game. He has a clear understanding of how to take care of his body. He has a clear understanding how to get ready for the game and everything else. He's a pretty exciting player. So I'm looking forward to playing with him for years to come.
How different is it going to be without Doug on Monday?
I'm not sure if they've announced any of that stuff or anything like that. I don't really know that situation as much, but you know, I know guys are ready to step in if that's the case. You know, I think that you know, we got a lot of great receivers. We didn't have Doug, unfortunately, in the preseason, but fortunately for us, we got to get a lot of reps with other guys. You know, I know when Doug comes back in there, he'll be ready to roll. If that's this week or next week or whenever that may be, he'll do everything he can to prepare and be the superstar that he is. But I think that you know, with the great thing of it all is that we got a lot of reps with other guys. Keenan's got tremendous reps. Tyler's got tremendous reps. A lot of other guys. So it's exciting.
Played a lot of games against Vic Fangio defenses. Just what makes him good as a coordinator?
Well, Coach Vic Fangio, he's tremendous in the sense that, you know, he has so many different looks, and he just knows he knows how to call a game. You know, he's tough to go up against. You know, look, we've had some great battles over the years in terms of just great situational football. Just he always coaches up his defense in terms of technique and fundamentals. That they really know what they're doing, where to be, and you can tell that on film with the Bears. You know, they're always in the right spot at the right time, and so it'll be a great challenge, and I'm looking forward to it, to go on the road and play in Soldier Field again.
Anything else? Thanks, Russ.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks.